Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your guys, Nick Frazier, Marcus Fitzpatrick around the water cooler. What's up, fellas? What's up, fellas? What's up, fellas? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Man, it's your guys, man. We're around the water cooler tonight, man. Tonight, we talking about what Auburn player is the most underrated. We may talk about which Auburn player is the most overrated. And we also may talk about is the Auburn fan base delusional. We're going to talk about it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. It's Friday. Yeah. And let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Water Cooler Talk Podcast coming up right after this. Eugene Asante. Let them know.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, boy. It's Friday. Yes.
I work tomorrow.
I'm about to get my money. Yeah. About to get running. Yeah. Because it's Friday. What's going on, Marcus? How you feeling, man?
Huh? I'm a little under the weather, but I'm going to get it. We're going to get it. It's Friday, like you said. We got to do it.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the Water Cooler. As always, before we get started, man, follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. And of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube so you know when we post more videos and when we go live, man. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us here around the Water Cooler. As always, man, we thank y'all so much, man. Oh, JT's in the chat. JT's in the chat, man. JT said, hey, he said the two Bills got the two Bills free agent singing signings. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. You know it better than I do. Michael Hotep. Both suspended his name for drug use.
He a tackle.
What's your thoughts on it, Marcus, before we get into the talk?
JT, if you know Buffalo how I know Buffalo, it's always something in the offseason that we drop the ball on. But hey, hopefully those guys can stay off the
Oh, you talking about the Stephen A. The weed.
I don't know what drug they tested positive for, but hopefully they can come back. Because like you said, they good depth pieces to put up that tackle position and help out Dawkins.
I feel you on that, man. I feel you on that. Said Nick is singing for real. I don't know. I just be playing around. It is what it is.
You really can. You really can.
I guess, bro.
Yeah, that little Texas country song.
It's funny, man. That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what time it is. It is time for guess what? The quote of the day.
Yeah. 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 It's time for JT's quote of the day. The quote of the day from JT. JT has the quote of the day for you and me. What is the quote? We want the quote. We need to know the quote. So what is the quote? It's a quote. It's time for JT's quote of the day. So JT, what is the quote today?
What's the quote today, JT? JT's quote today is the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a man's determination. I like that. That one right there is a little bit intuitive. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a man's determination. How you feel about that one, Marcus?
I like that. That's actually a strong quote.
I like that, man. Shout out to JT for the quote of the day. Yeah. We always get those every day from JT.
For the quote of the day.
So you know it is what it is, man. I got Rodney's in the building. Black Magic. How you doing, Rodney, man? What's going on? Bruton, Alabama. He all gonna let us know he's from Bruton. War down, man. Rodney, what's going on, man? How you feeling, man? How you feeling, man? How the car coming, man? How Black Magic coming, my guy? How's it coming? OMG, what were you thinking? What are you talking? What you talking about, Rodney?
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? Oh, okay.
About Buffalo, because
we talking about Buffalo Bills. What are you talking about? It is what it is.
What's
up? Tez is in the building. What's up, Tez?
Hey, Tez, I be freestyling over the intro. I be on mute, so I keep it to myself. But I be dropping some bars over the intro.
Hey, Tez got some big news dropping. I don't know if it's gonna be next week or week after next, but trust me, man. Tez got some news that's dropping, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that right there, man. The legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams is in the building. Huggy Beard, what's up, man? What's going on, my guy? I hope you feeling.
Always gotta tip the cap to Huggy.
Exactly. I got C Hall around the water cooler. What's up, C Hall? One down, 2 to go. Auburn got the win over Ole Miss today. They got the win over Ole Miss. We got 2 to go. I think Auburn's playing Tennessee tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Tennessee that Auburn has to play tomorrow. So, got to get ready for that one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 6 games. Don't think.
Yeah, see how I agree with that. I don't know what it was.
Weed. Yeah, it wasn't weed. It couldn't have been weed if it was 6 games. Yeah. Couldn't have been weed if it was 6 games. Good, man. Working on the race car trailer. Okay, that's what's up, then. That's what's up, Rodney, man. That's what's up, man. Proud of you. Yeah, the weather is coming. So we're going to try to get in and out because I don't know if y'all know last week we had some bad weather and I was having some technical difficulties. The weather is coming right now. So we're going to try to get this in, get it out before it gets here, man. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's Friday.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm about to get my money. Yeah.
Got that country soul.
We about to party. Yeah. And talk some Auburn football. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
All right. Hey, he been saving that for y'all. That right now.
Oh, man, he been saving that for everybody, bro.
Hey, that wasn't bad.
Because it's Friday. Yeah. And I'm about to get my money.
All right, what?
It is what it is, man. He said, "Damn, I'm trying to write some over the intro for days." Hey, man.
Hey, come on, snap on that. Snap on that, Huggy.
Huggy, if you got some bars, let us know, bro. Let us know if you got some bars, bro.
Snap. He said
he got a line or 2 finished. Okay. Hey, Huggy, if you got something that's fire, let us know, bro. Because I'll put it on the show.
Yeah,
I'll put it on the show as intro, Huggy. I'm telling you.
Come out one time for the fans, Hug.
You know what I'm saying, man. I'll make it an intro. Shoot, you saw what I did for JT quarter today. I'll make it an intro. What's up, King Richard, man? Warrior can you, my guy, man. What's up, man? All right, Mark, let's go ahead and get into some football talk right here, man. All right. So tonight's quote, I mean, not tonight's quote, but tonight's topic, we talking about underrated and probably some overrated guys. I don't know if I want to get into the overrated part because I don't even know if we have any overrated guys on our team, but I do, and I will say this. There are a couple of underrated guys on our team. So, Marcus, I'm going to ask you this question, man. Looking at the roster going into 2025, who are some, if you may have one, you may have a couple, but who are some of the underrated guys on this Auburn roster that's going into 2025?
I'm going to give you one offense. I'm going to give you one defense. How about that?
Okay. One offense, one defense. Okay.
So I would say you were reading my mind from the thumbnail because I was definitely going to say Jeremiah Cobb. For offense.
All right. Okay.
When I seen the thumbnail, I was like, come on, Nick. But
okay, go ahead.
That's why I had to come with my defensive pick. My defensive pick, I would say, is Amarius Williams.
Mars Williams. Okay.
Mars Williams. I pronounce it. I apologize. But yes, Big Ten, I think he's very underrated. And I think he's going to bring a lot to the table this year. I think he stayed on the Plains for a reason. I think he's going to show why he stayed here in Auburn.
Okay. You going to Mark Williams and you going Jeremiah Cobb. All right.
I'm going Jeremiah Cobb because if you look at him and DeMontis Austin numbers compared to last year, They had about the same receptions. He had a few less receiving yards. DeMar had 3 touchdowns with a couple more carries and almost the same amount of rushing yards. Jeremiah didn't put up none, but also Jeremiah is our kick return man, so take that into account as well. So like that's why I would put Jeremiah Cobb as that guy who I think is very underrated.
Okay, yeah, because my offensive guy was going to be Jeremiah Cobb as well, for the simple fact because I honestly feel like Jeremiah Cobb is at least a first and second down back in the SEC. Third down, I don't know. I don't know about that right now, but I know he's potentially a first, second down type back in the Southeastern Conference, meaning that I believe on first down, he can get you 4-5 yards rushing. He has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. I believe he's quick and fast. That is how I see it. I believe when he gets in, I don't know if his vision is the best, but I think it's good enough for what needs to be done in this offense in order to get you those 4 to 5 yards. But I will say this: if he finds a crease and he finds a way to get a slither, if he finds that slither, guess what? 6 days. I feel it. I feel it, man. I'm a
He averaged what 5.9 yards per carry last year?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. But you gotta understand that was only I think he only had less than he only had I think he had less than 220 yards rushing though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is though, I mean, looking at this dude, if you give Jeremiah Cobb full reign over this in the running back room, and you give him, I'm not gonna say give him, but he earns the spot to be the starter. And then he comes in and he undoubtedly is the guy that you're going to on a on a first, second down basis. I promise you, based on what Coach Hugh Freeze said he wants this offense to look like, he's saying that you should be since he's not worried about the total rushing yards, he should literally be looking at like the average that guys are rushing. I believe that sits up perfectly for a Jeremiah Cobb.
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
Now I also feel like for what he wants to do, I feel like for the passing offense, I feel like Jeremiah Cobb is a better pass blocker than Austin as well.
Better pass blocker?
Yes, I think he picks up the linebacker better than Austin because Austin is kind of smaller. So we seen him get blitzed a lot last year, and it didn't turn out.
Yeah, I sit here and I look and to that point about passing, like with the way that this offense, with the way he wants his offense to be set up, and with me feeling like it's going to be a lot more. This offense is probably going to be trending more 68-32% passing moving into this year. Having a back out the backfield that can catch, and having somebody like Jeremiah Cobb coming out the backfield is going to be very crucial, especially if you can give the quarterback a check down, some type of check down, some type of safety valve. So if everything else that you are trying to do does not work, there is a guy coming out the backfield or a tight end at least that is touchdown to check down. Where you going? Are you going as a quarterback? You read touchdown to check down. So everything from what play is going to get you the most probability to score to what's the next probability to what your check down is. So having a check down, and if that's a tight end, whether that's a back out the backfield, having that type of guy coming out of the backfield and having him who's a sure-handed catcher, having that, I'm telling you, that's a difference maker for this offense as well. So yeah, I would have to say Jeremiah Cobb is my underrated guy on offense. If we're gonna go on defense, man, I don't know if we have anybody that's underrated. You know what I'm saying? If I had to go right now, because when I look across the board, I look at Keldrick Faulk. We saw what Keldrick Faulk did last year: 45 total tackles, 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. You look at Keyron Crawford, who's coming on this year, who will be on the other side. Malik Blockton, Quintrell, Travis Johnson, he'll be there. Demarcus Riddick, we saw what Demarcus Riddick can do towards the end of the season last year. We saw what type of football player he's going to be. You saw Jay Crowder. We've seen Can Lee. We saw Caleb Harris. We saw Champ Anthony. I'm just trying to think like who on this defensive side of the ball I can actually sit here and say would be an underrated person that we can sit here and say that potentially is going to be somebody that pop out. You would say
I thought you were gonna say Barber, Nick.
No, I mean the thing about it is I'm not gonna say underrated for the simple fact. I'm not gonna say he's underrated because we didn't get a chance to actually see him do anything last year. So I mean, like if he would have gotten on the field and we would have saw some stuff and we would have saw him actually get on the field and get in some plays and stuff like that, I would have been like, okay, that's an underrated guy that we need to see. Only thing that we've seen so far from DJ Barber is just his high school stuff. You see what I'm saying? So I can't say Joe Phillips right now because we haven't seen him do it on the field yet. You know, I don't want to say DeMarcus Riddick because we've seen a lot of DeMarcus, and DeMarcus Riddick got some legit crucial playing time. He didn't get just garbage playing time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going across this defense and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, man, who on the defensive side is an underrated player? Man, I'm really trying to think here, bro. Like I'm really trying to think who could it be. I mean, Rayon Strider. Everybody knows how I feel about Rayon Strider. I think Rayon Strider.
I knew that. I knew you were gonna go there sooner or later.
You know how I feel about Rayon Strider. Everybody knows how I feel about Elijah Melendez coming in. I don't know, bro. This one's hard. Underrated. I mean, you can't say Jay Crawford is underrated for the simple fact because he was a freshman All-American. You know, that's not underrated. People know you. You know, so man. So you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do in that situation? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at a guy that's coming in that I think, and I'm gonna compare him to a guy that Auburn almost had. Anquan Fagans.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Anquan Fagans is underrated. For the simple fact because I feel like he's gonna get some real run in his secondary, and I honestly believe that he could potentially have somewhat of the same production that KJ Bolden had for Georgia last year as a freshman.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. Now, this is deep. I'm gonna give you KJ Bolden's numbers: 59 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, one sack. Do you not think that Anquan Fagans, they call him New Boy, do you not think that he can come in this defensive secondary right now and potentially give you 30, 35 tackles on the season?
I agree. I can see that. I was high on him when we got him. So yeah, I can agree with that.
I mean, I'm not sitting here saying he's gonna come in and start right away, but I will say that I think that once the season gets closer, like once we get towards the middle part of the season, he'll be in the rotation in the secondary, and then more than likely, what you're gonna see a lot of him playing, and when that happens, what's going to happen is that you're going to see him probably have the same kind of production that KJ Bolden had, or somewhat similar. You know, somewhat that'll probably be the closest comp to him moving forward when it comes to football, a football comp for him. I don't know. I think that's the closest thing I could think of.
Okay. Anybody you think overrated a little bit?
I'm not gonna say overrated. I don't think we have anybody overrated on the defense, unless you're thinking of somebody.
No, not defense. Offensive wise, I would say offense. If Eric Singleton doesn't come and put up the numbers that we think he will be, put up numbers we think he will put up, I think he'll be overrated because of where he ranked in the transfer portal.
I mean, okay, so all right, so let's look at this. So Eric Singleton
was the number one receiver coming out.
There's no more receiver coming in the portal. I think he had 754 yards receiving and like 715, 716 yards respectively in his last two seasons at Georgia Tech. So are we sitting here saying he can't do this in his offense? Are we sitting here saying that? I'm saying
if he doesn't give you at least 700 yards to 1,000 this year, he kind of overrated.
I ain't gonna say he overrated. I think it's gonna be easier for him in his offense.
I agree.
I
That's
think,
what
I mean,
that's you making my point.
This is the reason why I feel like it's gonna be easier for him in his offense for the simple fact because he's not gonna be the main focal point.
Exactly.
Georgia
He should.
Because when you look at the offensive side of the ball, you'll have Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, you'll have Eric Singleton, Horatio Fields. All four of those guys can be on the field at the same time. We know at least three of them is going to be on the field at one time together. In that situation, but when you're looking at it from that perspective, yeah, I think he about to blow up Schweight this year. I'm gonna be honest with you.
All I'll say is if he doesn't, he come off as overrated.
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say nobody.
So if he puts up a 400, 500-yard season, you ain't gonna say that he shouldn't have been the number one receiver, barring if he doesn't get injured, because injury can play a factor.
Injury plays a factor. But here's the thing, though. I'm not gonna sit here and say that because I'm just looking at his talent, and his talent tells me he's a 700-yard guy because that's where he's been the past 2 seasons. When all of the focus has been on him, he's at least giving you 700 yards. Now you put him in an offense to where the focus is not mainly going to be on him, and you tell me he's not going to flourish. He's not going to flourish even more.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying if he doesn't, can we call him overrated?
But that's the thing, though. I don't even think that's a question. The only way that's a question is if the quarterback play is subpar.
Okay.
That's the only way that's a question. If the quarterback play is subpar. But if Jackson Arnold comes in and Jackson Arnold is a guy that is getting the ball to the right reads in this offense and throwing it to the open man and being accurate with the football, yeah, I don't see a problem with it because if the ball is thrown in Eric Singleton's vicinity, he's gonna go get the football. Because I don't think he's going to just all of a sudden get to Auburn and forget how to play football. I'm just saying it's gonna be so much. It's going to be so much easier for him in this offensive scheme and this offensive system for him to get open for one, and then for him to get the ball and make plays. I mean, just think about it. Look at what KLS did last year when the focus was on him before Cam Coleman came on towards the end of the season. You know, before Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons came on towards the end of the season, the majority of the focus was on KLS. You know what I'm saying? When people started noticing, like, oh, this dude is for real. You know what I'm saying? And he almost ended with 1,000 yards at the end of the season. So yeah, but now that people know about Malcolm Simmons, now that people know about Cam Coleman, now that people know what Eric Singleton was at Georgia Tech, what he was doing at Georgia Tech, and now he's coming to Auburn. I mean, I think the biggest wild card in the situation that we haven't really talked about much is Horatio Fields. That's the biggest wild card. And I'm telling you, he might go off. I mean, like Auburn could probably legit go 4 wide in this offense with those 4 guys that I just named. And there is no secondary in the country that's going to be able to guard that. Like, I'm like, come on, bro. This is different. This is different. This is why my expectations are so high this year, just based off of what I'm seeing and the athletes that I'm seeing coming back on this side. I've watched Horatio Field tapes from Wake Forest. I've watched Eric Singleton tapes from Georgia Tech. Like, and I'm saying, like, if you can get those guys and see what they did at those respective schools and you input that into what this offense wants to do, this is scary. This is going to be scary good. Scary good.
Right, his production is what we wanted to be, Nick.
I feel you on that, man. I feel you on that. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we're gonna take a break real quick, man. We're gonna go into halftime, man, and when we come back out of halftime, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this subject and some more stuff, man. So stay tuned. Water Cooler Talk coming right back.
You don't out your seats. It's halftime.
Do you want to feel like a star? Then go to Hollywood Media, and you'll be shining. From sports interviews, athletic highlight tapes, athletic photography, Hollywood Media will make you the star of all stars.
Feel like a star on the most important days of your life, from college graduation to saying I do to your forever person. Let Hollywood Media make your event star-studded. Subscribe and follow on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. And follow on Facebook at Hollywood Media, 2 A's. Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Shout out to our guy DJ, man. They want support of the Water Cooler Talk podcast. If you want to feel like a star, if you want your memories to last forever, shout out to our guy DJ, man. Go check him out, man. Follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood EY. And then on Facebook, search him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's, man. They want support of the Water Cooler Talk podcast, DJ, man. Make sure you mess with the people that mess with the Water Cooler Talk podcast. We appreciate y'all so much for continuing to support, man. Thank y'all, as always. All right, man. Mark, just take a look at some of these comments.
Sir.
Before we move on to the next topic, man. Rodney saying LMAO. He was laughing at my singing. That's what he was laughing at. Kane Richard, what's up, Kane? What up, Kane Richard? What up, man? He said, bro, when you hit that high note, I thought you was finna say, everybody was come to fighting.
Yeah.
Those cats were fast as lightning. Whoa, whoa. And it's all like that Frankie Beverly Maze. You make me happy.
Well, chill out, boy. You finna get the line started.
This you can bet. Anyway, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams said, man, well, it's more like 80%, but I've been writing all kinds of different things going back to when I was a lad.
Hey, Hug it. Hey, put it on wax, Hug it. We need to hear that.
We need to hear it. Send it to us so we can make it an intro.
Wax, Hug it.
So we can make it an intro. Tez comes in and says, man, Malcolm Simmons, easily. Okay. We landed Eric Singleton, and everybody just put him ahead of Malcolm. That's gonna be a dogfight for that wide receiver 2 spot. All right. Here's how I feel about. Here's my thought process on this. I honestly feel as if Malcolm Simmons and Eric Singleton cancel each other out. I honestly feel like they're literally the same player. If you ask me, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. I honestly feel like when you put both of them on the field, like they are a versatile type of player. Like I don't just view them as wide receivers. I view them as athletes because I honestly feel like you can potentially put Malcolm Simmons and Eric Singleton in the backfield and throw them the ball out of the backfield. Okay. So having both of them on the field at the same time is going to be very interesting because if you have both of them out there, you can't guard both of them. And then think about Eric Singleton Eric Singleton can actually play outside as well too. He can actually play the H, the H position as well. I don't know if he'll be the X. I don't know if he'll be the main receiver. But definitely he can be the H receiver in his offense. So I don't know, man. That'll be interesting. Man. I got Dylan said, man, shite. Ain't that the word? TJ in the wrong business. You need to hit up Death Row Records. Who is TJ? TJ Hill? What are you talking about?
I think he meant you, Nick.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I ain't saying it all. I ain't got the voice for
it. I can't agree with Cobb. Another thing about him is his hands. Yeah. So King Richard agreed with us about the hands part. He can catch out of the backfield. Just the ability to get positive yards. Yeah. You know one thing that the thing that about Jeremiah Cobb that really excites me is I don't know if y'all remember, but if you ever got a chance to watch Carnell Williams run, I don't think there was ever a chance, ever a time when Carnell Williams ran the football and he ever got tackled backwards. He always got, every time he got hit, he was always getting hit and he would always lean forward when he got hit. Like, that's interesting. Like, that's always getting that extra yard, always getting a positive yard out of it. And that's what Jeremiah Cobb reminds me of. A guy that every time he runs, when he gets hit, he's going to get hit and he's going to get hit moving forward, not getting hit going backwards. When he gets hit, he's not going to go backwards. He's going to go forward. So it'll be interesting to see.
That was Randy Brown for me, boy. That goddamn Randy Brown was
he was a beast too.
A tough back, boy.
He's a beast too. He said, my bad. He said he met Nick. Okay, all right. Okay, I got you. Shout out to Dylan. What's up, Dylan? How you feeling, man? He said defense is a little harder question because we expect so much and the talent is everywhere on that side of the ball. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. So that's the reason why I went with Anquan Fagans. Tez comes in and says Chris Murray. That's interesting. Underrated. Chris Murray. I think this is Tez's second time bringing up Chris Murray, if I'm not mistaken. I think he brought him up before in another live we did when we talked about defensive side of the ball. Chris Murray, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. And I want to say I agree with you because of the fact that him coming in and being the veteran leadership of the second group of guys that's coming in behind Kieran Crawford and Keldrick Faulk. Because when you look at behind those guys, you have Joe Phillips, Mars Williams, Jamonta Waller, Jared Smith. You have those guys behind him that'll be on the field. But having a Chris Murphy come in, that's a senior that's seen a lot of football, that's played a lot of football, coming in at that position and being able to rush the quarterback, that is and so underrated. I like that. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Shout out to Tez, man. Shout out to Tez. King Richard man said, man, I believe if Singleton doesn't have close to KLS, it will be considered a bust. Wow. Okay, so you said okay. So KLS last year, what 981 in receiving? What do he have? What 60 plus receptions? So are we saying okay? All right. So here's the thing: if Cam Coleman comes in, let's just say Cam goes. So Cam last year was what 37 receptions, just under 600 yards receiving. So let's just say Cam this year has. Let's just say he has. Oh man, I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go big on Cam because I think he's gonna get targeted a lot. Let's just say let's just say he has 70 receptions, 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards receiving. 70 receptions, 1,200 yards. 70 might be a big number.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you putting it up there, boss.
But it's the thing though. Okay, so let's just say he has 60. Let's just say he has 60 plus, because I believe that's what KLS had last year. So are we saying if Singleton comes in and doesn't have that same production, it'll be a bust? I mean, and Singleton was our top receiver. I'm not Singleton, but KLS was our top receiver last year.
I would say if, like I said, with how much NIL we paid him, and him being the number one guy coming out of the transfer portal, it has to be a reason for his production to drop. It has to be a
Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman gonna be the number one option.
I understand that, but it still has to be a very valid reason for his production to drop. For us to see his production dropping and for us to watch it, we have to be like, yeah, he wasn't getting targets, or yeah, they kept going to Cam Coleman. Like, we have to actually be able to put our finger on why his numbers are dropping. If we not, if he getting the target and he lead the team in drops, or he getting the targets and he ain't getting it yet, why was he the number one receiver in the transfer portal? I'm just saying that's the question that we as a fan base would start asking. If he
was the number one receiver, he was the number one receiver in the transfer portal because of what he did at Georgia Tech.
I'm saying if he doesn't bring that to the Plains, then he looks like, he looks overrated. But like you said, I'm under the Nick. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there because of where he ranked at the transfer. I think he's gonna bring that type of production. I'm hoping.
Let's put it like this. On average, the past 2 seasons, he's caught 52. He's caught 52 balls on average the past 2 seasons. And he's roughly been about a 730 on average, 730 yard receiver. And that's with him being the main focal point. And he also had Haynes King throwing to him at Georgia Tech last year. So I don't know, man. This is gonna be interesting. I don't know. This is interesting. This one is interesting to me. This is interesting to me. Very interesting to me. I don't know. See, that's a lot. That's gonna be interesting to see. If Cam catch 4,000, Malcolm and Eric get 500 apiece. Add 500 out of the backfield, 500 for the tight end spot. I don't think that's in perform. My bad. Hold on. I'm reading this wrong. I don't think that's a
performance by Eric. I can see what you're saying.
Might not get the targets.
But Tez, I don't see our tight end spot putting up 500.
Yeah, I don't see our tight end spot putting up 500.
I'm sorry. Maybe that's just me. I just don't see our tight end spot putting up 500.
No, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. I don't think I don't think Hollis Davidson is a freshman. I don't think he's gonna get that much run. Preston Howard, who transferred in, is supposed to be that guy. That's supposed to be um the tweener tight end type position. I don't think we're gonna see that unless Caden Prothro. If I'm not mistaken, the dude that the tight end, I think he's leaning Auburn in this recruiting class coming up for 2026. Excuse me. I don't know if we're gonna until we see that type of person coming in. I don't know if we're gonna see a tight end with 500 yards receiving at Auburn. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Hey, you know who we didn't mention?
Who?
Perry Thompson. Do you think he
Yeah,
should move?
Nah. He needs to stay where he at. He needs to stay where he at, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He needs to stay where he at. But this is the thing. I mean, yeah, man, 500 from Malcolm and Eric. That's a downgrade on Eric, bro. That's a downgrade. I honestly feel like this is how I feel, man. We need Eric Singleton needs to be, even though I just said Malcolm and Eric are kind of the same and they cancel each other out. I honestly feel like Eric Singleton, his production wise,
should be better.
For this year should be closer to where we think Cam Coleman is gonna be. So I understand where y'all coming from when y'all say it's gonna be a bust, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of guys that's gonna get the football. So there's gonna be one person in this office that's their season is gonna look really, really bad, but it's gonna be from the fact of the matter they just might not get enough targets.
I think it's Malcolm Simmons. Honestly, that's just my thoughts.
Interesting.
Because I think we use him so much as a gadget player. Mm-hmm. I think that what he brings to Auburn will get lost on the stat sheet. Wow. Because I think he's gonna get a lot of in and arounds. I think he's gonna get a lot of gadget reverse plays. A lot, like you say, they might line him up in the backfield. It really depends on how Hugh Freeze opened up his offensive playbook this year, because he has the weapons at his disposal.
Yeah, he does.
He has weapons at his disposal to do anything he wants. Excuse my French.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, man. I'm just looking at this. I've studied and went over this potential depth chart for Auburn dozens of times and looked at it. And I'm just sitting here saying you potentially gonna have Cam Coleman at the X, potentially have, if you're going 3 wide, you'll have Eric Singleton at the H, and then you'll have Malcolm Simmons at the F position. And then more than likely, Damari Austin is gonna get the start at the running back, and then more than likely Brandon Frazier is gonna be your Y, which is your tight end. But then if you go 4 wide, Horatio Fields or Perry Thompson is gonna be that other receiver out there. I'm telling you, man, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, man, who's gonna stop this offense, bro? Like all I'm saying is
the only person who can stop it is Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze only can stop himself at this point. He got the weapons, bro.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Ted says, man, he just saying Singleton doesn't have to catch for 700 yards. Doesn't have to catch for 700 yards for considered to not have to be a bust.
But the thing about it with the NIL test, with how much you paid him to come in, and he's the top guy as a receiver coming in, he has to give you top guy production, or he's considered like that's just like saying a starting quarterback comes to your team, he's the number 1 pick, and he don't get you no wins. He's a bust.
I ask you this question: like, how do you okay, if you were the coach, right? How do you get the ball to all 4 of those guys at one point in time? How do you get the ball to all of them?
If I'm Malcolm Simmons, it screens. Eric Singleton is screens. Some downfield shots. Cam Coleman and some fade routes. Horatio Field fade routes. Because those are big receivers, and they can go get the ball. They can high point the ball at the highest peak. Singleton, I'm gonna try to throw some slants with him. Man, it's a lot that you can do, man. You got a lot at your disposal because you got height and you got speed. So it's just like what you want to do. Like your route tree should be nasty. It should be a lot of crossing routes. It should be nasty. Like I said, if you don't open up the playbook this year, man, I don't think he ever had a playbook to open up.
That's
He
interesting. That is an interesting point. If that's the question,
got
I mean,
weapons.
because you gotta expect with what you're gonna have on the field, especially if you have. Okay, let's just sit back and say this. All right, so if you go 3 wide, so let's just say you go 11 personnel and you go 3 wide, you got Coleman, Simmons, and Singleton. All right, if you come out in 11 personnel, most of the time, that tight end is probably gonna be it's more than likely going to be a threat in the passing game. So if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm looking at this and I'm more likely going to be playing some type of cover 3. Some type of cover 3. And if you don't know what cover 3 is, that's basically the corners have a deep third of the field. The safety in the middle has a deep third of the field. If you got a strong safety and a free safety playing, one of the free safety comes down and he plays the hook curls, and the running back basically has a hook curl spot, and then the other I'm not the running back. The linebacker has a hook curl spot, and then your other linebacker has the curl to flats. So that's literally how that is. I wish I could draw it up for you right now, but my board is kind of cluttered right now with some other stuff. So if I'm looking at this, I'm sitting here saying, all right, at my disposal right now, if I'm in 11 personnel, I have Coleman, Singleton, Fields, whoever the tight end is, and then potentially whoever that running back is as potential passing options. So I have 5 people that can get the football in this offense, but I only have roughly at this time, I'm more than likely gonna have only 5 people in coverage. So if I'm 5 on 5, that's 1-on-1.
Man, that's why I said that go route with Cam get nasty if you put him 1-on-1, bro.
It's 1-on-1.
I'm going. I got to go.
You know what I'm saying? Because majority of the time, if they playing cover 3, that safety in the middle of the field gonna play. He gonna play the deep. He gonna play the deep third of the field. He gonna be a free safety, a middle fielder back there. He ain't letting nothing get behind him. And whatever side of the ball and whatever side of the field that ball get thrown to, he gonna turn his hips and he gonna go that way. But I'm telling you, man, anything underneath, anything 12 to 15 yards right behind that linebacker is open. It's open. That's Eric Singleton area right there. That's
I'm saying, once you get him the ball, you got the speed to turn it up.
Then think about this though. If I bring in Horatio Fields or Perry Thompson as the 4th guy, I'm going 2 by 2. Like, bro.
On the outside, it's a jump ball. On the outside, I'm jump balling. On the inside, we're gonna have that tight end go block, screen it up for Eric, screen it up for Malcolm on the other side. If you want to play, like that's what I said, he has the weapons, bro.
That's what I'm saying. And I just look at this and I'm just like, man, what defense in the country, in the SEC, is going to be able to double team Cam Coleman or double team Eric Singleton and not be able to account for a Malcolm Simmons or a Horatio Fields? Like, I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, man,
what irritate me, Nick? I didn't mean to cut you off, but like you said, we have the weapons, correct? That means you cannot. That means you should not be able to stack the box against the weapons that we have. If the box is not stacked, we should be able to run the football. So you are right, Tez. That's why I retracted it. He might not. Well, I'm gonna tell you, King Richard, why I think you were right with your first statement. Now that you're saying this right here, what Cam Coleman gave you as a true freshman, he gave you 600 yards, correct?
Yeah, roughly.
As Singleton coming in as an upperclassman, as being a proven receiver, he should at least be able to get you 100 more yards than a true freshman, an unproven true freshman in the SEC.
But this is the thing, though.
I'm saying now he was like I said earlier. If we can pinpoint that he's not getting targets as the reason why his production is not being what it is, okay. But if the targets are there, which they should be, because I think Jackson Arnold is a better arm talent than Payne Thorne, the targets should be there. So the production should be there.
This is why I agree with this statement right here. Singleton could literally be the number 1 receiver in this offense. He could literally be the 1,000-yard guy in this offense.
I'm saying if he's not, that's not why we went and got it. You know what I'm saying?
We are sitting here assuming that Cam Coleman is going to be the one that gets the targets. It's going to get majority of the targets. But as I sit here and I think this through, I actually honestly can sit here and say that Eric Singleton, based on how this offense is going to look, dinking and dunking a little bit more, is probably going to get more targets this year than Cam Coleman. He probably could.
You was on record for saying that earlier. That's what I'm saying. If his production is not high with the targets, then what? Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Because we went out here and we got him to do a job. He doesn't come in and produce, or does that job to the fullest ability of his capability. Then what we talking about?
Yeah. No, man, I'm not sitting here disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you there.
But
what I'm saying is
what Ted says he does.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not gonna sit here and say with him at Georgia Tech, and I'm gonna say it again, and I keep saying it. With him at Georgia Tech, he was the main focus there, and he averaged 52 receptions a year and like 730 yards per year on average. You know, each year as the main person. His freshman year, he had 715 yards. Last year, he had 754 or something like that. So
if he steps back, we're not saying that's
the thing. I'm not saying I don't think he will. I don't think
I'm hoping he doesn't.
I'm telling you, I don't think there's a hope in it. I'm telling you, I think dude is going to literally come in and he's going to be the number one option in his offense. Just based off of the way that this offense is, just based off of the way that they used. Based off of the way that they used Cam Coleman last year as more of a deep threat down the field, like you didn't really see too much of Cam Coleman getting, you know, short balls thrown to him, short things thrown to him and telling him to catch it and go make something out of it. That was KLS. You know, catch the 10 yards. Can you turn that 10 into 30? That's Eric Singleton's game. That's what Eric Singleton's gonna do. Eric Singleton's gonna catch that thing at 7 yards, and that thing might end up being a 90-yard touchdown. Or he gonna catch it at 15, and it might end up being a 27 yard
What's
game.
A bad year for him? And Tez, I want you to chime in. Ken Richard,
a bad year for Eric Singleton. A bad year for Eric Singleton.
I want to be able to set the bar. So what's a bad year in y'all eyes for him?
I'm gonna say this. A bad year for Eric Singleton this year would probably be something. I think 500 yards is a bad year for Eric Singleton.
I agree.
I think 500 is a bad year, but this is the thing. I don't think he's gonna do better than that.
I think he at least should get 7. He had 7 as a true freshman.
I think, and I'm saying he should get 7. He should get at least 7 based off of the fact because you have a Cam Coleman, you have a Malcolm Simmons, you have Horatio Fields on the field. You're not getting double teamed.
You can't get double
teamed. So what's up? Like, because if they double team you, guess what? Cam Coleman
1-on-1.
If Cam Coleman get double teamed, guess what? You 1-on-1 or some type of miscommunication on the back end is messed up. So I'm just sitting here saying, man, there's no way in the world that this dude that Eric Singleton should step on the field at Auburn, and then next thing we know, he is a 500-yard receiver this year. I don't see that happening at all. I just don't. I don't see that.
And Ken Richard to the point
shout out to Gregory Lawrence, man. What's up, Gregory? What's up, Greg?
Shout out, Greg. Ken Richard to the point, if he comes in and he's not the second receiver or the third, that's a red flag in itself. You don't go get the number one receiver in the transfer portal and he can't test the field. He's not a starter. That's a bust in itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. I
don't think at least. Like I'm not saying
I think he starts.
I think he starts. I don't think it's position better than Michael Simmons.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like we're sitting here saying, like, is it gonna be him or Simmons? I think it's gonna be him and Simmons, not an or.
Yeah, I think we're gonna use Simmons in a lot of different ways. I think Simmons is gonna move around the field like he did last year as a true freshman. I just think he's gonna move so many places around the field that he won't have a set position. So we be like, yeah, he's the slot guy. Because you can use him so many different ways. He's a Swiss Army knife. So it's just
agree. But Singleton's the same way. But the thing about Singleton is Singleton can play outside or inside because he played a lot of outside at Georgia Tech.
And we're gonna need him to be that guy though. That's what I'm saying. Like we're gonna need him to, like we were speaking on earlier. We're gonna need him to take those double teams away from Cam Coleman. We're gonna need him to take those double teams away from Horatio
Yeah,
Field.
I'm not sitting here saying he need to come in and be a decoy. Nah, that's.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying. Well, the thing about it is, if you're producing, that means they have to take notice to you. Meaning they have to start game planning around what you're doing. So that means they can't focus solely on Cam Coleman week for week or Horatio. So that loosens up a receiver to get off every other week.
Yeah, but I feel what you're saying. But we coming at this from the lens of Cam Coleman is number one guy, which we all think he is going to be the number one guy.
That's true.
But the
That's
thing
fair.
is, but this is the thing is, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this from the lens of saying Eric Singleton could come in and be the number one guy in this offense, based on what we saw last year. I mean,
that's very true. That's very true, though, Nick. We like his peak is up here, but the floor is also there as well.
But the floor to that is, I'm just saying, is it bad? Is it bad because of the talent that's in the receiving room? Like, are we sitting here saying if he does end up with 500 receptions this year, are we saying
500 yards? If I had a reception,
500
reception. Hey, he's
500 receptions. Yeah, he 2,000 yard receiver. If he ends up with 500 yards receiving, are we sitting here saying this is a bad year for him? But then we look across the board and we say, okay, Cam Coleman at 800. Then we say, because we sitting here saying Cam Coleman possibly could be 1,000-yard receiver, but we talking about jumping from 600 yards receiving to 1,000. That's a big jump. And then you add in the emergence of a Malcolm Simmons, you add in Eric Singleton, then you have Horatio Fields there as well. And then we don't know what we getting with Perry Thompson. We don't know what the production is going to get with Perry Thompson as well. And then we forgot about Bryce Kane in this thing as well too. So I'm sitting here saying we potentially can go 4 wide at one time. And the thing about it is, there's only one football that each guy can get. True. So if we're sitting here at the end of the year and we see, okay, Eric Singleton has 500 yards receiving, is that a bad year? But then we look across the board and we be like, okay, Cam got 750. Malcolm Simmons, he had 500, 450 again. Horatio Fields at 600.
I'm gonna put this in perspective, and I know this is not the same game because it's a different conference. Shedeur, when he had that stat receiving core, he had almost 2,000-yard receivers and like 2 to 3 500s. So if we're looking at that right there, then Eric Singleton should be at that top part right behind Cam Coleman, in my opinion. And to your point, why can't he get 700 yards at receiver too? Cam Coleman just almost, as a true freshman, just got 6. Like, he's an upperclassman. That means he knows the game. He's seen a lot. So to me, at wide receiver 2, as an upperclassman, I think he can get 700 yards. He should. If we're saying that Peyton Thorne, that Jackson Arnold is better than Peyton Thorne, he and Cam Coleman had to make a lot of incredible catches last year. We seen that. KLS had to make a lot of incredible catches last year and get yak. We seen that. If he's a better quarterback than Peyton Thorne, he should be able to put the ball on Eric Singleton in a way that he can get yak yardage.
Agree. I feel what you're saying. But I agree with Kareem with your statement here, man. He said that, and he basically saying what I've been saying. He did say it earlier. He said he may be the number 1 receiver in the transfer portal, but not the number 2 at Auburn with the talented wide receiver room.
If he don't become number 2, bro, that's
the more I talk about it, I have to agree with that. But the thing about it is, I also look through the lens and I can say, man, Eric Singleton can come in here and be the number 1 guy.
True.
He could be the number 1 guy.
The floor is low.
So it is what it is, man. And King Rich said, man, you might also look up and see 4 wide and see the freeze 4 on the field. Woo.
Oh. Hey, good point, King Rich.
That's what I'm saying, man. Marcus, man, we've been in here for 56 minutes and well, a little bit less than that, but it's time for us to get up out of here. End the week on a high note. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, we'll be back Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, man. Marcus, what you got to say to the people before we get up out of here, boss?
Man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all made me forget I was sick. I didn't even feel it for a minute. I deal with it, but no, man, y'all have a blessed weekend. Be safe, bro. I hope I see everybody back Monday. Huggy, King Richard, JT, Auburn Dad, Tez, all y'all. C Hall, man. All y'all come back Monday, bro. We gonna turn up.
Yeah, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk, man. We're trying to get our social media game up a little bit more, as well as follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Again, please, if you have a Twitter account and you are watching us right now, please go follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. If you have a Twitter account, go follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. And then, of course, here on YouTube, subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell button. Subscribe, like, and share. Hit the notification bell button. I believe we are still 4 people away from
4. Come on, y'all.
4 people away from 600 subs here on YouTube, man. And we appreciate y'all so much for helping us get to that point. I know we are in this down season right now. Spring ball is going to be starting in the next couple of weeks. And we going through this lull, but trust me, stick with the Water Cooler Talk, man. We're going to keep bringing the content. We're going to keep talking about Auburn football. We're going to keep talking about SEC storylines and SEC football as well. So we want y'all to continue to rock with us around the water cooler, because trust me, when the season starts, we're going to keep it.
Man, hey, all I would say is this toilet tissue flying this year. I ain't get to throw it as much as I wanted last year, but this toilet tissue going to go crazy.
Yes. Shout out to the Huggy Beard, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams. What's up, my guy? He said, what if this offense puts on a number like Gus did at Tulsa? Hey, what was that? Was that a 5,000 yard offense? Was that a 5,000 yards offense? I believe it was. I believe he had a 5,000 yard offense at Tulsa. So shout out to Gus for that. Didn't do it at Auburn, but it is what it is.
Hey, man, we ain't gonna even stop.
We are here, bro, and we put in the word out, man. We appreciate you, King Richard, for that, man. We appreciate you, man. We're gonna keep bringing the content all summer, all spring, all summer, and leading up to SEC Media Days, leading up to fall camp. We're trying to position ourselves to where we can kind of be closer to the action, so we can start bringing you some real good insight, some real inside stuff. So, man, we're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep making it happen, man, and doing what we can do to better position us. So the Water Cooler Talk family we can be a voice in this space of sports media, man. So we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us, man. Before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, as always, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube. We appreciate y'all so much, man. King Richard said he think it was a 4,000 passing yards with 2 1,000 yard receiving, man. We need it at Auburn. We need that. If we have that, if we had that, the conversation we just had is null and void.
He got the weapons.
If that happened, the conversation we just had is null and void. Said great show, Warrior, man. Shout out to King Richard, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to everybody that rocked with us tonight around the water cooler. And before we get up out of here, man, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. You all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. As always, y'all be blessed. Make sure you get a man upstairs above his, the Lord Almighty. And as always, one love, because it's Friday and I'm about to get my money. Yeah. All right. We up out this thing. We'll see you Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, man. Y'all be good. We love you. And guess what? We out. One love. And we out this mug. Eugene Sante. Take us out, boy. Y'all have a good weekend, man. Love y'all.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.